Everyone. Welcome. My name is Joseph Lennon. I'm the Emily C. Riley Director of the Center for Irish Studies. And thanks to everyone who's pulled together today's events, especially Jenny Joyce, Mary Medek, Conal O'Quinn, and also thanks to everyone behind the scenes, Molly Freetag, Kirsten Ludi, Judy Duroso, and George Cobb. We began the day this morning in Galway, which is perhaps closest to us here in Philadelphia, but and the Alumni Association has posted the video for this morning's segment on the registration page, so you can watch it there if you missed it this morning. Now we're heading further east to Dublin City. And I would just, before we start talking, I just want to thank everyone who's given support to Irish Studies over the years, to Dr. Jim Murphy, who started the program, to the Connolly Foundation, to the Friendly Sons of St. Patrick, and everyone else who's joined to make this center a success. We have a lot of study abroad programs. In addition to our Galway programs, we have a program at the Jackie Clark Museum and Library in Ballina, Mayo, and in Dublin, I was going to say here in Dublin, where Johnny is in Dublin, we have the Learning Communities Abroad for freshmen, and then we have the Irish Theatre Summer Studio that Valerie Joyce, Michael Hollinger, Father David Cregan, and myself have run. Craig Bailey works on the program in Mayo. And then up in Belfast, we have Writing Through Conflict that Alan Drew and Sering Wangmo have run in past years. My last announcement is that our 2021 Heimbold Chair, Hannah Khalil, is with us this semester virtually. Her play, The Scar Test, begins streaming later this month on March 28th. So I would encourage you all to check it out. The other thing I would say, lastly, is if you haven't signed up for tonight's concerts, please do. There's still time to register, and you can send any questions. Everybody's already chatting. It's great. Happy St. Pat's Day, everyone. We're going to begin with a short video with our own man on the street, St. Patrick himself. So we're going to begin with this now.
So, I mean, I says to him, I says, Lord, you know, if you want, I can be the patron saint of America. If you want, if it's up to you, it's your call. Or maybe Canada, maybe, or Australia, maybe. No, he says, Ireland. I want you to be the patron saint of Ireland. What's that? Where's that? That tiny little, I can't even see it on Google Maps, it's so small. Yes, Lord. Okay, I'll be the patron saint of Ireland. Anyway, and he gave me a little gaff. Look at that. Not the best, but if you follow me, is that a shamrock?
It's your one.
More gates. More gates here than Bill Gates. So, here I am in the garden. Empty benches, bit of grass, you know yourself. There's some of the locals. How are you? This is all you're getting this year. And grey sky, typical. As you can see here, I'm getting an extension put in. Pool room. Might get a jacuzzi. 100-inch plasma screen, PS5 surround sound. Just a kind of a chill out area. Taking their time. So here I am at the, as you can see, the St. Augustine, St. John the Baptist Catholic Church. A wonderful building with quite an interesting historical connection to Villanova University, because it was here in 1874. Legend has it that the local monk, Mick, I think his name was, Mick the monk, and he did a runner from here to Villanova University, stopping only once for a cup of tea in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. I will now attend an historical reenactment of the great exodus of the monk from here to Villanova University. Wish me luck. Alrighty. Villanova. Villanova, Villanova.
Come on, Patrick.
How's it going, Arnie? Now, Villanova. Yeah. I think it's this way. Harristown, no. Charlestown, no. Finglas, Ballyfermot, Liffey Valley Shopping Centre, Villanova. Next one is October the 5th. Is it Villanova to the left?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know.
There's two L's in Villanova. Two L's, Villanova. Is it to the left or is it to the right?
I don't know because I just moved for yesterday for this street, so I really
You
don't
moved
know.
the street? You moved the street? Sinners, sinners, sinners on the corner. Go on, what did you do and what did he do?
Do not throw them rats out the window.
I'm telling you, I don't know if there's enough Hail Marys that will save you. Now, am I on the right way to Villanova? Do you know where Villanova is?
Just keep going.
Two L's. Is it that way or is it that way?
Depends.
Villanova.
Some ways longer than
Are you on your way to Villanova?
No.
Where are you off to?
Amarillo.
Amarillo.
On my way to Amarillo.
There's two L's in Amarillo as well. Go on. Villanova. Villanova. No? No. As you can see, it took him 27 years to get there.
Shanae, folks. Shanae. That's it. That was so funny, Johnny. I love the bit about the gaff and the church. I wanted to know what gaff meant. But first, before you start answering my questions, today we are talking with the august interpreter of the 5th century Patricius, otherwise known as St. Patrick. This is Johnny Murphy, and this is a rare opportunity to talk with St. Patrick, or St. Patrick's impersonator himself, on St. Patrick's Day because of the lockdown. Normally, Johnny is St. Patrick and leading the St. Patrick's Day parade in Dublin. For the past 15 years?
So, yeah, I think 14 or 15 years. The maths gets tricky.
So how are things in Dublin today?
It's very strange because I actually live on Patrick Street. There's a cosmic joke going on somewhere. So I'm a stone's throw from St. Patrick's Cathedral, where the route finishes. And normally at this time on this date, it would just be a throng and a sea of people everywhere. And if I look out my window now, it's very quiet. There's little traffic. There's a few people strolling around. And Sod's Law, Murphy's Law, it's a crystal clear blue sky. I guarantee you, Joseph, if the pandemic was over and we had the parade, we would not have a blue sky.
Right. When you say a gaff, what's a gaff? Just to translate.
It's the place where you live. It's your home, your dwelling. It's a slang word.
And also, I was going to ask, just because I'm the professor, the Amarillo. People in America may not know that song that the woman in the corner said.
I don't know why it's so popular here. but ever since I can remember growing up, it was if you are at you know a house party and there's a sing song at the end, at some point in the evening, you are guaranteed somebody is going to sing. Is this the way to Amarillo? I'm not. Is it Neil Diamond who did it originally? I would assume that it was as popular in America because it's an American song that as it is here, but I don't know.
Maybe. So how did you become St. Patrick? How did this come about?
I prayed for years. It came in a very, it landed on my lap. I didn't go seeking it. I'm an actor, as you know, and I was doing a play here in Dublin. And one of the actors in the play was a friend of Donald Shields, who ran the festival at the time. And he basically wanted to modernize the role of St. Patrick. I think up to that point, some old guy had volunteered to do it, and he wasn't an actor or performer. He liked putting on the costume, and he would just walk. But Donald wanted, because the whole festival had been transformed and modernized from the mid '90s onwards, and he was just trying to, just breathe new life into that aspect of the parade.
So is it a thrill being St. Patrick? I mean, what's it like going down the street? I mean, how many people are there in the crowds?
Yeah, I mean, like to be honest with you, because I had done a lot of street theatre, and that's why my friend Michael had recommended me to Donald. So I had a quick chat with Donald. He said, I said, look, I'm mainly comedic, and he said, great, the funnier the better. Do whatever you like. And so for me at the time, it was a gig. I didn't think too much about it, and I didn't realize the scale of what I was getting involved in. So the first one stands out in my memory because you're performing to, on average, it's a 2-kilometer route, and you have 500,000 people lining that route. So you're performing to 500,000 people in the space of 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So as an actor, in the theatre, you're performing to 100, 500, depending on the venue. At street festivals, it's a few thousand or whatever. So I wasn't, it really, I didn't anticipate as soon as it started, because I'm right at the front leading the parade, and suddenly you're just seeing people after people after people. It was quite overwhelming.
And what famous people have you interacted with there? I remember I think I saw a photo, or what was it?
There's been many photos. Well, I suppose for me personally, the one I was most chuffed to meet was Mark Hamill. And that was actually only 2 years. That was the 2019 one. And every year we have a Grand Marshal, and usually it's a sports person or someone who's achieved something like literary. In that year, they had a very special guest. It was like a new thing that they were trying out. So Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, my hero, was the special guest. I don't know how they roped him into it. And I mean, Joseph, I was maybe 11 when Star Wars, I was the perfect age for Star Wars. And so I grew up with it, and suddenly I'm meeting him and high-fiving him. And we'd had a really bad gale in that over those few days. So that was my line too. I said, I see the gale forces with you, So, but that was great. Yeah. But I've met others like Katie Taylor, for example, was a Grand Marshal. So different sports people, but they all start, once you get beyond 10, it all starts to become a blur.
So did the parade change from what it, I mean, when I first was in Dublin in the late 80s, 1990, it wasn't like that.
Not at all. It wasn't a festival. It was a one-day event, and it was quite low key. There was the pageantry, of course. You had the Lord Mayor, the Army Band, and you'd had the American dance bands come over. But apart from, there was no spectacle, and it was mainly small businesses with very uninspiring floats, and a guy called Rupert Murray. Now, he had worked in the Gate Theatre, and I knew him from the Gate because I'd done some plays there in the 90s. And he was the lighting designer for Riverdance. And I think it was, now I'm guessing this, but I think he saw what they did, what Riverdance did for Irish dancing he could see you could do the same to the St. Patrick's Festival. So he was instrumental in transforming it into the spectacle that it is now. And they built a whole, like now it's a 5-6 day festival.
Right. So there's a big American influence in some ways.
Oh yeah, because the Americans were at it way before the Irish. I mean, Chicago would dye the river green, and like they made a lot more of it than we did. So there was an opportunity.
I was thinking you could try this out next year. Maybe this would.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see that's the way it was before it got transformed, Joseph. So we put a lot of effort into improving on. That's you being nostalgic.
Yeah. So you're also known by your stage name, Sean Murphy, right?
Yeah.
A few other characters that you delight Irish audiences up and down the coast, all around the country. Most famously, Marcel So What? And perhaps more recently, the Christmas Elvis impersonator, Elvis, as well as the Dubliner that everybody groans at, Bono. Let me show, I want to ask you what it's like to be a street performer, but let me just share with our audience here some of the videos of, the shots. Here you are.
I'm not sure what year that is. I thought that may be the second or third year, but a great photograph. We're on the front page of the Irish Times with that photograph.
Right. And that's the Beckett Bridge behind you, right?
It is indeed, yeah. As you can see the sky in that photograph. That's what it's normally like on St. Patrick's Day. But I mean, look, there's thousands of photographs. And I think, again, when I first did it, when you get to the grandstand at the GPO, I'm learning to play the crozier. It's like how I imagine what it's like for actors at the Oscars when they go up the red carpet, because you just see hundreds of photographers flashing at you. It's a very unusual experience. This was a Grand Marshal. His name is Brendan O'Carroll. I don't know how well known in America he is. He's a comedic performer. He has a show called Mrs. Brown's Boys. So he was great fun. Enjoyed having a bit of crack with him. Yeah.
The Moral Authority. Whoops. What about this shot? Was this actually used to promote tourism in Ireland?
No, I suppose every year they try to think of something different. I mean, the concept obviously behind this was, Patrick is arriving for the festival, something like that, Obviously they try to tweak, because it's the same character, it's the same costume, so they try to think of a new idea as every year goes by.
What questions do you get asked on the parade route?
On the parade route, it's always the same. It's like, what did you do with the snakes? And and also there are still some snakes left. You should get rid of them. It's always the same. I've never been asked an academic historical question. Thank God.
I can ask you. I was gonna throw one in here. Confessio, right? Our 8th century version of St. Patrick. What we have of St. Patrick's writings that begins, "My name is St. Patrick," and I thought this reminded me of you. I am a sinner, a simple country person, the least of all believers. I am looked down upon by many.
That's why I was cast. Fit the bill.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't. So this is Marcel. So what?
This is Marcel. Yeah. So he's been my alter ego and my companion for I shudder to think 30 years. And again, that was something that wasn't planned. I was while I was studying drama at college, our teacher tasked us with a project where we had to come up with something non-verbal. And I developed this 3-minute stage piece. I showed it to one of my housemates, and he was a street performer, and he loved it, and he booked me into some cabaret. So he started out as a 3-minute stage act. And then I got booked into a gig where there was all these children, and they didn't understand what I was doing. So I started improvising and walking around. And then that became the walkabout character. That took over from the stage act, This is a different stage act. This is where in this scenario, it's a day in the life of a mime artist. This is an attempted audition for the Cirque du Soleil, and I mime ventriloquism, and I mime it badly. And they call the emergency services and they tell me never to contact them again.
I like the before and after here. The before, you're so,
Yeah.
Marcel so proud and pleased with himself.
You'll be glad to know, Joseph, as far as I know, I'm the world's only mime ventriloquist. I think that's, if the Guinness Book of Records are in touch, you know.
Oh, I'll get to Elvis in a second. But how did you, but what about Marcel Marceau? Was this an inspiration? Do you like mimes? I mean, because there was years people hated mimes. This is kind of anti-mime.
Not a lot of thought went into this. Like I had the act for college. Suddenly I was booked into this cabaret. I didn't really have a name. And I was thinking, well, it's like, there's the white face. It's like Marcel Marceau. And my sister, I think, said, well, so what? And it just stuck. And I never changed it, you know? But it's not a slag on mime. It's not really mime. It's more mimicry. And it's closer in spirit to Harpo Marx. You know, he's kind of trickstery and mercurial. I don't do any of this stuff, you know? It's nothing. In fact, it's got nothing to do with mine, except I don't speak.
No, but
the look is Marceau-ish, yeah.
But you interact. I mean, I've seen you do it, and it's hilarious. You know how you work a crowd and people on the street. The kids love it, and they sort of rush up to you. But then they run away, or sort of look behind it, are very shy coming up to you.
There's always a few. There's always a small percentage, both adults and children, who once they see a silent white face, they run. I don't know.
So I got a big kick out of your Elvis.
Okay. Did you see him? No.
I've just seen him on video. I haven't seen him, but the tights are hilarious.
It's like, again, it's like, it's the same kind of character. It's like St. Patrick Marcel in an Elvis costume. Obviously, there's differences, but I kind of do the voice, and I sing some of the classic Christmas songs badly, as you can guess, on the ukulele badly. But again, he's such an iconic character. I love performing Elvis. It's just there's something inherently funny about the voice, the look, whatever. Yeah.
The other that I just wanted to briefly show. And then, let me see. So you mentioned Machnas earlier. Those in America who may not know Machnas, it's an amazing street theater company that is out in Galway. And so they have floats or figures in the parade as well.
Yeah, it was like the beginning of a kind of a renaissance in our folklore, translated into theatre and spectacle. So Druid's theatre company were kind of the first. They were very different to the Dublin companies. There was something like organically Irish about Druid. And Machnas kind of developed, I think, maybe a few years after. I'm not sure of the exact history. But what they were doing at the local festivals in Galway was amazing. And so that very much had its influence on the festival in Dublin.
Now, from the Sublime style, I just wanted,
you've done your research here.
I asked you to reprise this character for tonight, but I just want.
We were on the third tee, and Barack went first. He hit a good shot, center of the fairway. Mandela hit an amazing shot right down the center of the fairway. And then Banky, well, he was a little to the left, but not too bad. Safe. So came to me and, pressure's on, So I took out my favorite driver and I whacked the ball. And I went straight into the bunker. Bono in the bunker.
I just wanted to ask you, so in America, Bono is not a figure to poke fun at. Is he in Ireland, in Dublin?
Well, we poke fun at all our sacred cows. I think it comes natural, and it's not mean spirited. I mean, I'm a huge admirer of Bono and U2 and what they've achieved, but I don't pick and choose who I mimic. But there's something about his character that I can't resist, but because he has this sort of Irish but American thing going on, and it goes up and down, and so I just find that funny, and I sometimes think of like strange scenarios that he can I just do these short little videos on YouTube, but he's I just get a kick out of doing it.
No, he's brilliant. It's hilarious.
I hope one day I'd love to interview him as Bono.
Oh, that'd be an alley.
I'm talking to the wall.
Right. That would be brilliant. If we ever get Bono over here, we're going to get.
My people will get in touch with their people, and they can get in touch with their people.
I'm going to show people one last thing.
Okay.
Because I am an egghead, and I have to at least point to those who are interested in St. Patrick. You can go online. If you Google the Confessio, you can read the confessions. You can read it in all different languages, and you can even see the manuscripts. So
I must read this myself.
So I just wanted to point to this. If anybody out there is interested, it's fantastic. It's a great read. You should check it out. It's part of this heritage. It's what started all of this. And Johnny, we're also tonight having some 3 concerts, and everybody's welcome to join. It's at 7 p.m. I don't know if you're still up over there. That'd be what, 11 o'clock? I think you'll still be up.
We're just getting started.
Yeah. But if you're out there, you have not signed up for this evening's concerts, you are more than welcome to. You can go back to the registration page, and you're still able to do it. Johnny, you've not been over to Villanova, but we have to get you over here.
Sure. Yeah. As Marcel, Elvis, St. Patrick, or Bono, or all of them,
or all.
It's a lot of luggage.
Yeah. We're gonna end it with a song, but
Thanks for having me. It's been great. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you all, and thanks to everybody who's set this up. And I appreciate. We just wanted to give everyone a little taste of Dublin. Speaking with our favorite Dubliner, Johnny Murphy. So thanks. Cheers.